In the online socialization phase, you can also ask the students to form groups for further work. Then the information exchange stage is where you start with content work. So before you can ask your students to discuss topics or to work in groups independently, it might be useful to offer a self-paced learning phase in which they can acquire the vocabulary necessary to be able to talk about a certain topic. So here, self-paced learning and language learning-related activities will be dominant, which is the preparation for the knowledge construction phase. This is the most communicative and the most collaborative phase. And it's a phase for group work, which can be done either in class or also online, depending on the number of lessons you have per week and the amount of time you want to spend on working on the topic. And finally, the fifth phase is a roundup, a phase of where you can assess the students' progress, or where you can also ask them to self-assess their own progress or to assess each other's progress. So this sounds all quite theoretical, and this is why I want to present you an example in which this model has been used. So the topic of the course I want to show you then is immigration, identity and culture. It's aimed at intermediate students of English, so who are aged between 15 and 18. And the basic requirements for using the course are having a Viva in class, having computer access and internet access in class, and the students should also have the possibility to access computers and the internet outside class, either from at home or from computers that are accessible in school. So this is the infrastructure that we need for using the course. And the time frame is about 3 to 4 weeks. The course aims are improving competence in all skills, so reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Then developing topic-related vocabulary, so that the students can also talk and write about immigration, stereotypes, identity, cultures. Then another aspect that is important is familiarizing learners with digital learning materials, how to handle online dictionaries, which traps there are, so that they are also familiarized with lifelong learning strategies, so that they can help themselves later on. The most important thing, however, is empowering learners by offering opportunities for self-directed learning. So it's no longer the teacher who tells the learners in every detail what they have to do when, but it's giving the responsibility to the students, so that they can organize their learning depending on their personal needs and on their personal interests. So let's have a look at the course. In my presentation, I also included the link to the course because it's on the university Moodle server, and it's open for guests, so you can have a look at the course if you want. All right. So as I said, the course is about immigration, identity, and culture, and in all my courses, I have a general communication area in the beginning, which includes 2 forums. One is a to-do forum in which, I tried the course out with a group of secondary school students, so this is why the to-do forum actually already exists. So here you can keep track and guide the students on which activities should be done in the beginning until they are familiar with the structure of the course and can work on their own. In addition to that, I always include something like a cafeteria, an informal chat room for students, so that there is a reason for the students to go there also, well, not to say in the free time, but so that they see that this course is a point of communication with their friends as well. In addition to that, there's also a link to the online dictionary, because students should be invited to make use of these technologies. Then the first content-related blog is called Getting Started with Talking About Culture, Immigration and Identity. And well, first, when the students are first using Moodle, as I said, they should be invited to create a personal profile. And then the first task is coming up with their own stereotypes about culture. What do they think does culture mean to them? To which culture do they themselves belong? Because we come back to that, to this kind of stereotype later on. In addition to that, they should develop content-related vocabulary. And an activity that I use here is a chain mail. I don't know if anyone has ever used a chain mail in class, but you all know what a chain mail is. So somebody sends a letter and so on. And this chain mail is a competition between two groups. You can have a look at the instructions here, for example. So the students are divided into two groups, and they have a newspaper article on immigration to Great Britain as a basis, and the groups are asked to ask questions about the article. And well, one student asks a question, sends it per email to the next student on the list, and this person has to answer the question and create another question. And this goes on until they are through the list, and the group which has finished first is the winner and gets extra points. And the advantage of this type of activity is that you can create a pool of questions, for example, for revision by the students themselves. So it's not you as a teacher who has to come up with questions and the students simply have to answer them, but you're involved more actively. And at the same time, are familiarized with the topic vocabulary. All right. So this was our access motivation online socialization stage, and then we start with content work. I have chosen a topic that is rather close to the students' own experience, so that they are that they feel a bit more touched by the topic itself, because immigration, identity, culture usually sounds a bit boring to students, but I took the topic of Arigoda and family to work on, to do some language work. So this is a section where self-paced learning dominates. This is why there are several newspaper articles, space texts, and then there are several activities in which the students can check their comprehension and also do vocabulary practice activities. All right, coffee time.